everyone, I'm Sarah from sarahboparah, and today I'm going to film a pen testing video in my 2016-2017 Erin Condren Vertical Life Planner. I always like to keep a reference page in my planner with writing samples of all the pens I might want to use in it, so I reserved a page in the notes section of my planner for this purpose, so let's just jump right in. I'm going to start by testing my Pilot G2 07s. These are generally the pens I'll use in this planner because they're my favourite. I really like the way the ink sits on the page and doesn't bleed through the paper, so I'm going to start with them. The black and the blue ones are the ones I'll use in my planner, but I do have other colours which I have used sometimes to do theme weeks, so I still like to find out how they look. You can see that the pens I don't use as much appear to skip. If you leave G2s lying around for a bit, this can happen, but it's easily solved by writing with them a couple of times before you want to use them. So when I was in America, I picked up these gel roller pens from Target. They're very similar to the Pilot G2s, but they're cheaper. They write a bit more stiffly than the G2s, and their colours they come in are slightly different. I don't use these a lot in my planner because the ink soaks into the page a lot more, even though the shadowing is minimal. Another difference with these pens is that it really doesn't matter if you leave them lying around because the ink will flow just as nicely as if you used it yesterday. The next pens I wanted to test are these Pilot G2 pens that I have in different nibs. I've got two G2 05s and one G2 1.0. I'll use the 05s to draw with, but I haven't used the 1.0 much in my planner, even though it's much thicker. On the other side of the page, I'm going to test these Pilot Frixion pens. What's great about these is that they're erasable, so if you're prone to mistakes or you don't want to use whiteout in your planner, these are a great option. One thing to keep in mind is that the ink disappears under heat. So if you leave your planner in your car on a very hot day, the ink will disappear. You can fix that by putting it in your freezer. I personally tend to use these for my address book because the ink is not as saturated as the one from the G2 07. Next, I'm going to test these Stabilo mini fine liners. I've got 5 colours here that I will sometimes use to colour code in my planner. Then I'm going to use these two Stabilo felt tip pens. I use these a lot in my bullet journal, but I've never actually tried them in my Erin Condren, so I'm curious to see what the paper will do. Well, I don't think that's going to be a very good option to use in your planner. They bleed. Now I'm going to try the Erin Condren Rollerball pens. These have a 0.5mm nib. I've kind of got a love-hate relationship with these. The colours are lovely, but except for the navy one, which writes like a dream, these kind of skip for me, which is a bit of a bummer. going to try these two Sakura Jelly Roll pens. I've had these for forever, since I was about 14. They still work really well, and I'm excited to see how they perform on these pages. Then I'm going to try my permanent markers. I know these are not going to look very nice because they bleed very heavily through the pages, but they are amazing options for writing on stickers or washi tape. Finally, I'm going to try my white pens. I've got a Sakura Jelly Roll pen in white and a Uniball Signo Broad in white. These look lovely on darker stickers, and to really get the effect across, I'm going to use them on two stickers that came in the back of my planner. As you can see, the Sakura one is finer, but the Uniball is more saturated, so which one you're going to use depends on the effect you're trying to achieve. And that's my pen testing page completely finished. If you're just starting out with your Erin Condren, I would definitely recommend the G2 07s. I just really like how nice and clean they look, and because I'm sure you're curious to see, this is what the back of the page looks like. I've already written in it, which I probably shouldn't have done. I would say the permanent markers and the Stabilo filter pens are the worst offenders. I'm very excited to do the same pen testing in the new Erin Condren Life Planners, which were released just this week because they've changed the paper and it's much thicker. I'll link some reviews of the new planner paper below so you can check it out. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!